Where the hell are these guys?
Oh, hey.
Oh,
Have you been waiting long?
been waiting not too long. Apparently, been live for 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know how to start these things.
Technical issues. I blame the producer.
I'm supposed to have a producer that handles all of this stuff.
We started on time, didn't we?
Technically, maybe even a few seconds early.
Oh. Shout out to the people in the chat. Dave, Greg. Oh, Dan's in the chat as well. Hey, Dan.
Who's that
guy? Steve A. Graham Young, getting all snowed in. And I think that's it. Oh, and Peter White. There we go.
It has been snowing around here today quite a bit.
I think the most, like everything east of Manitoba got smashed with snow, apparently.
Yep.
But that's how it is up here in the Great White North.
It happens.
Yeah. The drifts were
32 degrees outside.
Oh my god.
Or 90 for those speaking Freedom Height.
It's
crazy.
Unbelievable. And that is without a humidex?
Yeah, correct.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you don't want to know what the humidity is.
No, I'm good on that. So how's everybody doing tonight in the chat? What are you all drinking? Are you under snow? Are you in 32-degree super humid weather like Jeremy?
Are you in the vacuum of space? That would be a cool option. That'd be all right.
That would be.
Just once, we gotta have someone streaming from space. Life goals.
Dave picked up on the snazzy new haircut from
on my weight loss program.
Still counts. The weight is gone, man.
Yeah.
Also, what is this? Episode 45?
Yeah, 45. And new day. It's the big revelation, I guess.
The big new day going back to Thursdays.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Some
guy named Bourbon Sane apparently is streaming on Wednesdays.
Apparently we're nice. And apparently we have good relations with other channels.
We're supporting the up-and-coming new, smaller channels.
Sure. like Bourbon Sane. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the job of a large, massive conglomerate channel like us.
Sure.
Steve A is rocking 32 freedom degrees, and he's about to pour some Nadura Oloroso. Oh, wow. I don't think I've even heard of the Nadura Oloroso. I know that they have a few of the different Nadura releases, but I bet that Oloroso is something quite nice. Let us know if you like it.
Oh, Whiskey Crusaders just turned up in the chat.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, guys. And do you have any bacon?
No, that's.
Wait. I don't think I do.
Did you get some jerky bacon?
Oh no!
I reminded you last
bacon. I do have several other forms of beef jerky, but I don't have any bacon.
I'm drinking my bacon in the form of Lagavulin 16.
I'm starting with Lagavulin 8. I think we're gonna make it a whole Lagavulin night tonight. I think is
yeah, because why not?
Exactly.
There's literally not a reason in the world to not do a lager night. So here we go.
We might as well.
I got the memo saying Thursday night lager night, so I drank last night, and none of you pricks were there. I was disappointed.
Whiskey Crusaders.
You really should know better. You have a Brad clock right there. You know what's going on. It shouldn't be a surprise anymore.
Bacon is indeed the best, Matt.
Dave K with the words belay that, and I know exactly what he's referring to, and that would be Mr. Ron Swanson telling the barkeep to belay Ben Wyatt's order of a gin and tonic.
Yep.
Sure.
And what follows is probably one of the best whiskey drinking scenes ever filmed, in my opinion. If you guys don't watch Parks and Rec, give it a shot sometime. It's worth it.
It absolutely is.
Ooh,
And Steve A, I don't know if you need to, but I would suggest it.
Look, Steve,
how-
how's the shoulder, Steve? Like, we've not twisted your arm too much. We just want to make sure we're being gentle. Just pour away, man.
my next pour, that's why I'm kind of drinking the 16 faster than I normally do, is because I've got the 2017 Lager 12 lined up. It was
it's the
for
same. I have the same one. Yeah.
nice. This one is my sample that I took home after Dave K's tasting,
Nice.
which I have talked about before, and I'll mention it briefly again. Dave has this awesome tasting every year, and he has an excellent selection across the table, and we all go and enjoy ourselves and have a time and try everything. And then at the end of the night, we have stickers with our name on it, and he gives us a few, and then we go and stick those stickers on whatever bottles we'd like to take samples home from, and then Dave's fantastic wife bottles them up for us, or sometimes Dave does, and we get to take them home. And it's fantastic, and I'm really excited. This is the first time, I think, that I've opened it up since I've brought it back, so really excited.
Nice. It's a tasty one.
It is. It's great. Ooh, Dave was going to pour... I didn't, Peter White. I haven't spent much at the LCBO recently at all. I'm kind of an angry child right now. So like I'm taking my ball, I'm going home and I'm taking my ball with me, type of thing. So I haven't really even been into a store. I haven't gone online. I did put in for the BTAC Lotto that's currently on. But no, I did not get any of those Diageo bottles. But I know a few people that did. I may have gone on a split with Vito on one of the Taliskers, the Talisker whatever.
Right.
But I can't remember. So no, I did not. I'm currently having a hissy fit over being trapped at the LCBO.
They are sort of a pain.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter White grabbed the Talisker 15 cask strength. Yum yum.
Nice. That's one of the best looking bottles, tubes, and labels. Also, the Lagavulin 12. This year's release of the 12 has the what I believe to be a Fen eagle on it, and it just looks really awesome. And would love to pick one of those up. But I don't think we had the. Oh yeah, they had the lager there too.
All right, Dave K. Fair. It's a giant clusterfuck. I was trying to be a little bit gentle and downplay it, but yeah, the LCBO is a horrible situation.
Yeah. Okay, so I did get in on a tally 15 with James and Vito. That's fantastic. So there's a ton of the Lager 12s left. I'm not sure if they're the 2017 though, Peter, and not that the other years aren't fantastic. They are great drams, but the 2017 really is something special. It's just
send it to Dan, and Dan will send it to me eventually.
Yeah, well, if I don't have to leave my country in order to mail something to another country one time,
or just open
and again, that all relates back to the LCBO. If the LCBO wasn't in the position that it was and being operated the way it was, our importing, exporting would be a lot different.
Yeah.
We just have to wait till September anyway, and then you'll at least be on this continent.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And push comes to shove, just give Dan all of the whiskeys I need, and then Dan will open a window, and he'll be here in a matter of hours.
It'll only cost him half of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter, that's awesome. Kensington is good for doing that whole Pure Later pickup, or UPS, or I think it's Pure Later, who's across the road from them. I can't remember. But that's good. And I do have potentially an avenue of a friend that might help me out. So we're gonna check that out. But in the meantime, just gonna be angry at LCBO.
Fair.
Greg's got the Harbinger. So
Oh, nice.
meant to be a tasty
Nice.
tasty
Yeah, Peter. Sorry, what'd you pick up? What'd you get sent out to you?
at the KWM.
Yeah, that is
Kensington Wine Market.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, big time jelly on the Harbinger. Whoever's rocking that Harbinger, Greg.
That is tasty
Roll on
stuff.
September. That's all I can say. I had my first taste of a Texas whiskey a fortnight ago with the Brimstone, and I'm keen to get some Iron Root in me. And I've got that bottle of Icor sitting there at the Geberbelays. So
I think you are going to love it.
We're
know
going to
you're
be
gonna
all
love
set.
it.
We're going to have a trunk full of whiskey, drive a few hours, stop somewhere, drink whiskey until late in the night, wake up, do the whole thing again.
bigger car, Brad. Gonna need a bigger car.
Getting a bigger car, it's fine.
There you go.
Amroot rum cask and a Teeling 16 cask strength. Ooh, nice. Yeah, nice pickups, Peter. Those sound fantastic.
I'm okay. So I'm kind of I had a bit of an epiphany the other day. So for those who don't know Australian spirits all that well, Bundaberg rum is probably the largest produced spirit locally, right? It's molasses because there's lots and lots of sugarcane up around the Bundaberg area. So it's a dark rum made from sugarcane. Really, really fantastic. Diageo bought it a few years ago, and they do a whole heap of different expressions that require barrel aging.
Okay.
So there are a whole heap of barrels that we use to age rum, and a sugarcane-based rum at that. That Diageo, as far as I'm aware, hasn't offloaded anywhere yet. So there could be something interesting in one of Diageo's
upcoming portfolio.
Yeah,
because
it's not a small amount that they're barreling and aging either. Like it's a decent amount. So there's the potential that there's somewhere in their portfolio, someone is sitting on a whole heap of tropical rum aged barrels that have now got a spirit sitting in them, waiting.
Nice.
That
could be very interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to see a lot more heavy peated rum finish. Yeah. I've only had two, and one isn't really heavy peated. One is obviously the Drum, which I really enjoyed. I think I enjoyed that release more than your traditional Cultist. I really got a lot out of that contrasting sweet and peat. And the other one is the Glenfiddich Fire and Cane, which certainly isn't heavily peated by any means, but there is some peat there, and it definitely does get the rum. And I think they just work so well together, as opposed to your rum finished spirits that aren't peated tend to be super sweet. Like the Angel's Envy Rye, just pulling that one off. I know it's a super sweet example of it, but it does taste great, but it's sometimes a little too sweet in like a rye or a bourbon or a non-peated Scotch even. The Balvenie Caribbean cask, sometimes I find, a little extra sweet. But the heavy peat with the rum is just, I'd really love to see more of that.
Mm.
Yeah, rum and peat seem to work out. All of the rum cask stuff that I've had that it's been peated has been at least decent. And some of them are just great.
Well, I would love to get my hands on some Drum. I'm kind of hoping that HQ or Brad has some because Vito still hasn't followed up over a year later.
I got some for you. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to switch to the Lagavulin 9.
I just poured the 12, and right away, with just instantly, it's oh my god, Graham Young, the rum finished Glen Scotia is a wonderful thing. I bet.
I would imagine.
There's a Glen Scotia. Graham Young sent some really, really, really interesting samples in, and we've got some really cool stuff planned for those, and some interesting content that you will have to be patient for, because we travel at the speed of time over here. So nobody got my joke. It's okay.
And don't worry, time's all relative anyway.
That's right.
True. Time is a flat circle, etc., etc.
Yep.
Yeah. What that long row rum finishes are nice as well. Yeah, I have not had any rum finish long row, but I do have the 17. I think it's a Chardonnay cask, and it's woo. I know it's not rum, but it is super good. So they obviously have a good knack for barrel finishing over there.
Absolutely.
Speed of smell and taste. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, really excited. There's some really, really super, super interesting stuff that Graham sent that I am really, 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 really excited about. But I don't want to leak anything out.
No spoilers.
I will say that two of them are probably two whiskeys that I can probably come close to assuring that nobody else has, that in all of our viewers. I won't go as far as to say anybody else in the world has, but I think that they're two pretty exclusive whiskeys that I'm super, super excited about. And you'll all have to be patient to check that out.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I don't believe I've had the 24-year-old Teeling single malt, and I definitely haven't had the new Boss Hog.
Nope, I have not.
I've been interested about it because I have had, I think it was 2 versions ago was the last Boss Hog that I've had, but it was very, very good.
I've had a Boss Hog, and unfortunately, it was in a time before my journey was at a point where I was taking notes or even recognizing notes. I was drinking whiskey and appreciating it, but not to the level I am now. But I do remember having a Boss Hog, and that was probably 5 years ago. And I've never had my Teeling. I've had very little Teeling.
Oh, no, you gotta get some Teeling.
I've had maybe 2 or 3. One of them was a Barbizon. I can't remember the cask finish, but it was great. I'd love to try the 24-year-old because Irish really ages quite well, in my experience. Quite well. Peter White, you have that 17-year. Yeah, that Long Row 17 is one of my top. It's in my top 10 favorite whiskeys ever. It's spectacular.
Oh man, I'll have to make sure to find some interesting things to bring to Austin next time I go too. I should have at least a few things that.
Aren't you going soon?
I am going in early April too, but I don't think I'll have time to actually like do many whiskey things.
Was that the Schwood thing in April now?
Yeah.
Wait, Schwood's in April? What's going on now?
Somebody made a comment on Brad's post about something going into April, and I totally didn't even want to step near that.
I wonder who would do such a thing. It seems totally, totally out of character for everyone currently on this broadcast. But yeah, I'll be in outside of Austin for just a couple of days in
that
early
whole
April.
Top shelf on the black shelves there. I'm probably bringing every single one of those bottles down to Texas.
Nice. Yeah, the nice thing about that trip is we'll just be able to just fill the trunk with whiskey. So there's no real practical limitations
This
on
I
the
don't
whiskey we can bring.
I don't like being called a trunk.
That too. We're going to fill the Jeremy with whiskey.
Yeah, Peter White. I got 3 up there. I got 2 11 years and 1 of the 12 year, and 1 of the 11 years is actually a gift for the Gulgadoos.
The Gaberba
Gala Bubba Gababa Gababa
the Gaboba Banouche.
You can call them what they are, the traders that left the channel to do their own thing. It's fine. No hard feelings or anything.
Yeah, Whiskey Crusaders. I don't know what kind of Canadians you've had, but like gonna bring down some spectacular, super spectacular drams.
I know he means the whiskey, but still, sorry.
No, he means prepare the prison pocket. It's going to be a tight squeeze. How many whiskey minis can we fit into a Jeremy?
In the bottle or out of the bottle?
Well, one leaves more room, but the other's more convenient.
Ooh, a Wiser's 23 cask strength.
Yeah, super good. Where are you seeing that?
I
don't have one yet, but I am gonna get my hands on one to bring down there because it is really good.
It is
super good, and I didn't manage to get my hands on this year's lot 40 cask strength either. So I might try and get one of those because I love it. It's a great super tasty dram.
So Peter, lots left? Yeah, there's about 40 lots
left. Yeah, there is lots left. That's why I haven't been rushing around. See, a lot of people, I think a lot of people that don't enjoy it, maybe a lot, were really expecting what they got out of the 11 year and the 12 year. And they are totally different whiskeys.
Yeah.
Completely. He was trying to make a different whiskey. He ventured out to make a different whiskey. The whole purpose wasn't to have that super dill bomb of the previous releases. He wanted to add a bit more vanillins. He had the French oak in there. So it's certainly a departure from the previous 2 releases, which again were those really nice classic dill notes, lots of nice oak in there, and like that tiny bit of eucalyptus kind of mintiness that's in a lot of ryes. But this one is totally a different ball game, and you have to go into it really knowing that. And I think people like me and Brad have a bit of an advantage on that level because we did try it in the presence of Dr. Don, who explained to us what he was going out to do and what this whiskey was, what he was trying to get from it. So while he was there explaining it, and then we're drinking it, and all of that experience, I think, really made it a lot easier for us to appreciate it.
Sure. But it also, to be fair, adds a little bit of a bias because the first experience is like just an amazing experience.
Big time.
But, doesn't mean that it's not good.
Yeah. And Graham, absolutely. The Alberta Premium cask strength it would surprise a few Southerners. That is a fantastic rye. Again, definitely in the top 10 for rye that I've had. And I think it would impress any rye fan, Southerner or not. But I do think you're right. If I did bring one of those down, I do not. I think I might have one with Dave. But yeah, it's a great dram, and it goes to show. And I'm probably repeating myself because I find myself saying this a lot, that you've got a whiskey like Alberta Premium. The standard bottling is just horrid. And then they release it cask strength, and it is just spectacular. So it really speaks volumes to what happens when you kind of put a little love to it before profits. And
isn't that a good thing though? Because if you release a product, right, like for example, you release a really really good whiskey, everyone goes bonkers for it, and all of a sudden you've got a Pappy situation, right? Now, if Pappy released a proof down to 40% whiskey and it tasted like shit, like, do you think that Pappy would have that massive following, or would it then be like all of the people following would be like, well, that doesn't have the status anymore. I'll just go off and chase Blanton's because, oh my God, gold is finally arriving in the US.
Yeah,
sure. Have you heard though that Blanton's gold is showing up in the US?
But you know, like then it is left for the people who truly appreciate the whiskey for what it is. Like
Sure.
You're literally just sending out like the guard, like the Vanguard, like here's Alberta Premium, have fun, and then all of the other whiskey drinkers are like, you want the cask strength, buddy?
yeah.
So it's left for those who actually enjoy it, and then the bread and butter stuff is literally just thrown out there.
Yeah, no, big time, and certainly from the distiller's standpoint, absolutely, 100%. That is, I agree with you.
I have it on good authority that moderators of the tribe are allowed to hand out punishment outside of the tribe.
Yep. No, this is.
That seems right. That seems legally binding. Sure. Yeah.
So much work.
I think N. Henderson is Nathan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So N. Henderson says he, having never had the Lot 40 first or second release, the third release was incredible. And there you go. That just kind of proves my point a little more in that if you're not expecting, and it's hard when there's previous releases, like you take anything that is a yearly release, like your Octomore, anything like that. A lot of them are fairly similar to previous releases. They might do a little bit different cask finishes or ages, and certainly they're not identical. It's definitely not as big of a departure, in my opinion, from the two super rye bombs and then the really nice sweet vanilla third release. And you can't help but when you love those two and you're excited about the third one, no matter what, it's really hard to convince your brain that you're not trying to expect what you got in those previous releases.
Right.
Greg is really starting to. Okay.
So much work the last 24 hours.
I bet.
Graham says, you're so right. I seem to give a dram of the Alberta Premium Rye cask strength to many Scotch sippers, and they seem to love it. And it's a $60 bottle to boot. That's the real kicker. It's a $60 bottle of cask strength rye, and it is spectacular. Everything about it is phenomenal. So yeah, Nathan says, yes, that's me. I believe, and again, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I am not the sharpest. My brain isn't super sharp lately.
He's not the brightest crayon in the box. He's 2 bob short of a watch. Which one do you want?
Yeah, I think we met Nathan at Silver Fox. I believe Nathan came in with his wife or girlfriend when we were just having a dram there with Mark.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, if any of you at home have never tried the Lagavulin 12-year 2017, please do. Even if it's
okay, if you insist, Dan, I will.
Can you just pour me one now as well, Brad? Just put
Sure.
put a little cap on the top.
Yeah, I'll put a coin over it, and it'll be fine.
Saran wrap's fine, right?
Sure. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Get there in September. Turns out that the magic is just wait 6 months covered in saran wrap.
Oh, imagine if it was just completely magical. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
hey Ed.
We have a veto.
Oh wait, we
We
have
have we have
Not
new vetoes in the chat.
I don't think he's new veto anymore. He's just the only veto. There is no other veto other than
Right,
Dutch
he's
veto.
actual veto.
Yeah.
That's why I just go with a veto, but I guess it is the veto.
Yep.
And that is fair enough.
So you get all of the trappings that go along with being the veto. Enjoy your 17-course pasta meal tonight for dinner.
Oh,
He's
Nate,
all right.
Silver Fox is currently snowed in. Yeah, I believe it. That was a pleasant surprise. Currently enjoying the Silver Fox White Lightning. There you go.
Nice.
Awesome.
Could you imagine being snowed in a distillery?
I could. We wouldn't.
Terrible. Oh boy, what would we do?
I have never stepped foot in that distillery and left in any period of time shorter than I think like 7 hours. How long were we there last time?
It was a good while, yeah. We were
Like-
there until like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
And was the trip to the car, like from the car to the distillery door, like 2 minutes, and the trip from the distillery door to the car, like 12 and a half minutes?
Seems about right.
We managed to keep ourselves relatively in line, believe it or not, for being in a distillery.
That's also kind of why it took so long, because we had to pace ourselves and wait long enough. But
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it worked out.
It did. I had a great time.
So I love nothing more than reading Vito's thing, and it's just at Steve A Steve. It's a palindrome of Steve.
I'm going to ask the people at home and you two wonderful gentlemen, what is if you guys have visited any distilleries, what was your favorite and why was it favorable? What was unique about that particular distillery visit? We'll start off with us and let them type some stuff in.
Probably Iron Root.
Oh, you fucking bastard.
Just because I got to go back and hang out in the barrel warehouse for several hours.
And you got to see some of the
best Jonathan Licorice was just
moves you've ever seen in your
randomly pulling things out of casks. Like, here, you gotta try this. Here, you gotta try this. Also, Marsha Licorice said the word fuck, and it was the best thing that I've experienced ever.
Wow.
Graham Young, you absolute gentleman.
Yeah, cheers, Graham. Thanks.
Oh, cheers,
and
Graham.
wow, a Laga 10 cask strength. Woo!
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I can't remember, Brad, if I did share with you or Jeremy the list of stuff that Graham sent.
You mentioned some of them, I think, to me. But,
really, every one of them is
really
interesting, and a really, really neat story behind every one of them. That I was just really excited about that stuff. Graham is like the Dave Kramer of the East Coast. They're very like a lot of Dave's bottles he picked up in person, you know, at this distillery or when he was in Scotland here and there or this. And there's a lot of really neat kind of stories behind it of these awesome, unique bottles that many of them aren't available outside of the distillery, much less Scotland.
Sure.
Much less in Ontario. But I'd love to see those two guys get together and put on a tasting for us.
That would be a good time.
Yeah, so mine's easy. I've been to one distillery. Sorry, I have been to two distilleries. Silver Fox and Dillon's. And Dillon's was really neat. It was really cool. It was super slow when we went there, and we kind of got like the owner was there and the master distiller was there and told us a bit about their story. And they were, I got to see some, because I'm a huge nerd when it comes to gardening. I love growing stuff, and I got to see their wormwood that they were growing for their absinthe.
Fun.
Yeah, so that was really neat. But still, my favorite visit to a distillery is definitely Mark, because it's just on that level where he's a friend and everything is beyond accessible, and like just you don't just get to be taught and shown stuff, you get to do stuff, and you're right there. And Mark's such a passionate, intelligent person that he makes for a great experience there. But
Oh yeah, no, it was amazing. Especially when he would just like get a random idea and be like, "I'll be right back." He just runs off,
and
mixes a few things together, comes back,
yeah.
taste this. Like,
And it's
okay, sure. I was like, this is great. What the hell is this? What have you done? It was a lot of fun.
Dave, yeah, you are really memorable. You're a fantastic guy, Dave. Straight up, like I raise a glass to you.
Dave is great. Absolutely.
A fantastic, truly magnificent bastard.
I'm just gonna say who?
Dave K.
I don't remember meeting him. He can't be that memorable.
I think in September we could probably change that. We could work that out.
I think that there's going to be like bookends. I remember the beginning part and the end part.
Sure.
Stuff happens in the middle.
Yeah. Wow. Graham Young has been to 60 distilleries. Dave's only been to 5, but 4 of them are Scottish, I'm pretty sure. They sort of know me by name at Glengoyne. Oh my God. So there's a show for those of you that like comedy and have Netflix, or even if you don't, you have other avenues of watching shows. There's a show called Still Game. It's 2 Scottish pensioners in like a fictitious suburb of Glasgow. And it's just a really, really funny, excellent show. And they go to the Glengoyne distillery for a tour. And they end up realizing that as they're finishing off the tour in the gift shop having a wee dram, the other tour starts up behind them. So they just keep cycling on and doing tours over and over again, and they end up getting absolutely pished. And it's a great show.
So
it is a lot of fun.
Sorry?
List as a pizzard.
Yes.
Yes.
Just absolutely list.
I'm not sure how much he's had to drink.
Yeah, so Peter White, yeah, the cast strength rye is also great. The thing about that is I've had 2 different barrels, because it is single barrel, that cast strength rye. And the 2 barrels I've had were very different profiles, amongst the biggest difference between any other single barrels that I have tried. A lot of single barrels, in my experience, are fairly similar, or at least they strongly carry those traits from the distilleries that they came from. So while one might differ from another, still holding a lot of similarities. But the 2 Dillon single casks I had were vastly different. Like they must have been different wood, different locations of warehouse, different everything, because I can't even tell you. The first one I had was tasty, but nothing I wouldn't purchase again. And the one I've recently had was actually stellar and quite tasty. So that was really interesting. Yeah, Graham Young, awesome. So you've seen that. Good man. You got good taste there, because that's one of my favorite shows. But I was raised on Britcoms.
So just weirdly, there is like half of the messages in YouTube not showing up. They are in StreamYard.
Weird. Technology.
Yeah, great. Okay, so Dave,
Winnie, Aberlaw, passed by Deanston, and some difficult to pronounce thing.
Edradour.
Yeah, that one.
Sure, let's go with Edradour.
Ori and Glen Breton and Silver Fox. There you go.
Oh, Glen Breton. I forgot that you went to Glen Breton, Dave. I would love to go there. Glen Breton is, I think, first Canadian single malt producer, at least of some significance, and they are. I've only had 2 expressions from them, but I do remember them being quite nice, and everybody loves Glen Breton.
Yeah. I've only had a couple of things from them, but they've been good so far.
Yeah, they're taken. I believe they're in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
They
had a whole battle with the SWA or whatever because they had Glen in the name.
Yeah, and they won.
Well, I mean, Nova Scotia is New Scotland, so like a lot of the naming conventions, it's all people from Scotland that settled and made towns and stuff.
What's Paul Gleno going to do if he wants to, make a whiskey called the Glen because Gleno distilled it? Right.
That would actually be pretty funny if you had like a master distiller named Glen, so you made a release. It was just Glen's whiskey or whatever. Glen anything. Fun. So many lawyers.
So good.
Can't call it Glen because it's Scottish. Well, Gleno's not Scottish, mate, but that's his name. Like, it'd be a real short lawsuit here.
Jeremy, what are the requirements, regulations, rules for you personally bringing whiskey back with you into country?
So taxation wise, it's 2 liters. So basically 2 bottles and like a 500 ml is the most I can bring in. Now, in terms of quarantine, because that's a whole separate thing again, it can't be an opened bottle. So it has to be, commercial, sealed, done. Otherwise, customs will just go, yeah, no thanks, son, out. Sure. And after that, I believe it's just the 7-liter rule. So if I want to get taxed rather heavily, because importing spirits privately, I think it's close to 38 or 40% of the purchase price. And then you've got the excise on top of that. Like it's not a trivial amount. So
yeah, it's similar-ish to the taxes that we would pay bringing stuff into Ontario. The limits are a little different, but the cost would be in the same ballpark. I imagine.
In the past, when I used to work at an airline and stuff like that, obviously, being the friendly rapport building sort of dude that I am, I'd quite often get waived off the taxation side of stuff, but I don't think I can get away with that anymore.
Sure.
So, yeah, I err on the side of I like my wallet.
Fair.
Yeah, big time.
So basically, like for me coming back, I think it's Chapter 3 Eleanor, and the Icor. I'm probably going to try and bring the Icor back home. I don't know what I'm going to do about the Eleanor bottle yet, whether or not I share that with people there, because I don't think there's that many Chapter 3s left.
I think
probably not by now. Yeah,
I think that's one that you kind of should maybe bring back with you, for the simple fact that it's probably the only one in the country.
Yeah, but you bastards are over there.
Yeah, listen, and I'm not going to turn it down if you decide to pop it open, right? But like, I'd love to load you up with stuff to take back. I would love to. It would be awesome to start, but like, it's going to end up, I'll put you in the fucking poorhouse.
Yeah.
So my options are at the moment, if I take the Eleanor and the Icor, I've got room potentially for a 500 ml. Whether that's one of the committee releases or whether I just get a couple of little small minis of some interesting stuff, or even if like Terry gets a couple of the Master of Malt stuff, because I can get Master of Malt here. It's just a bit of a crapshoot on shipping and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'll see. I do need to speak to Robert Licorice, because I can get Texas Ligation, where obviously he sort of can't. So he.
Oh yeah.
So, I've got to sort that out. So I'll probably bring over a bottle of Texas Ligation
That would be
And
fun.
yeah, so most of the whiskey that I'm going to is either going to be stored back at cult headquarters or with Brad or consumed with some good people. So,
Dave, that's a different chapter 3. They're talking about Eleanor, and you're talking about Little Book.
yeah. Steve A's got it. Yeah, 1860 Eleanor.
Yeah. I never pulled the trigger on that. At the time when a lot of the first ones were released, I wasn't I wasn't super good friends. I didn't know the Ghoul Gagays. I didn't know I didn't know many Texas folk on a level of, hey, can you go pick this up for me from the distillery? So I never ended up pulling the trigger on any of the earlier releases or subsequent releases, to be honest, because I certainly didn't know when I'd be able to make it down there. But now,
well, I still haven't picked mine up, Dan. So either Emma has drunk it, or she's really, really, really likes me, and I've gone over the 2-year storage limit.
No, I think I'm pretty sure your stuff is safe.
I think we can work it out. I have a whole bunch of Eleanor. I don't have all of them, but I have, I think, 5 or 6.
Yeah. So
Brad,
Richie, Crowded Barrel do not ship. They will ship from the back of house to the front counter.
Yeah.
That's as far as
someone will go and fish through the back of its place and find a bottle for you. That's it.
The beautiful thing is if you purchase a bottle and you email Emma, they will actually hold the bottle for up to 2 years. I've gone over it, but they will hold the bottle for up to 2 years for you to collect, knowing full well that it may take some people some time to organize shit to get to Texas. Just for a bottle of whiskey, you may as well wait for another event to happen as well.
It's a great excuse to go to Texas.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I have a lot of great reasons to go to Texas this year. One of them, it's funny. We live in Canada. I've got like at least a foot of snow outside my door right now. It's currently blowing against the window and like barricading us in. And I'm going down to Texas to see a husky.
Seems right. It's a very snuggly husky. So
isn't so the only reason to go down is barbecue, whiskey, and huskies, correct?
that sounds right. Yeah.
Pretty solid. There is that wee little Iron Root Balcona is attractive.
But I guess there's a few people too. But
if you speak to Daniel though, Iron Root and all those guys are in Canada, aren't they?
yeah, they're north enough that it's basically Canada.
Emma is great. She does a lot of great work.
Emma
She's
is great.
busy as a bee. And at any time I've had any type of issue, which really hasn't been too often, she's been right on it. And considering the crowd of people that just bombards with emails and silly stuff every day, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The whole team is really kicking some ass there.
They are. And now Deb is going to have a decent sized still soon.
Yep.
So they'll be able to pump out a lot more whiskey. That'll be great.
So at the beginning of this stream, I asked Vito where he was, like the short Vito, not the real Vito.
This is the tightest cork.
50 minutes later.
At least he used the dude gift, since it is the beginning of Hangover today, the Dudist holiday.
Yeah.
So.
That cork on that Laga 8 is the tightest cork I've ever had in any bottle ever, bar none. It is a workout. Taking it out and putting it back in. Yeah, so those of you in the chat, how many of you are planning to make it down to the gathering in the fall?
The cask strength gathering, proudly supported by the Crowded Barrel.
Yeah, right. They were so nice last time to throw us a party for the 1-year anniversary of Cask Strength.
That was crazy and really
That,
nice of them last year.
it
Really
was.
nice of them. So now I'm on to the 8, obviously.
And I'm going to go on to the absolute classic 16.
We went opposite today. I went high to low, and you went low to high.
It reflects. So Brad is actually aging, whereas Dan's a Benjamin Button situation. He's just getting younger and younger.
Seems right.
No, that's my knees and back are arguing with you right now.
So great, Graham Young, the Canadian meetup. I don't know. That's a Bradley question, and I guess that would depend on when the hell the big bird lands in Newark/Toronto.
Yeah. It would depend on a lot of timing factors, but there's going to be sort of a rolling meetup around the vehicle that we are going to be driving all through the U.S. to get to Texas.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll have to work something out for figuring out where the stops are going to be at some point. But it's still too far in the future to tell who's going to be around when.
A Patreon that has no subscription fee just so that we can do lens updates.
We could do that. We could set that up. I mean, technically, there are Patreons that exist that could be used for such functions.
Yes. Yeah, isn't it Dan and Vito are the only ones without?
Or we could just use TikTok or something and confuse the entire TikTok community.
MySpace.
Go back to using MySpace.
Oh my God, MySpace.
We could do a MySpace and we could have a Cast Strength ICQ.
Sure.
Matt is going to be in Austin this year. That's awesome.
Nice. We'll probably look again, Matt, depending on things. I dare say it's going to be a case of there are 50 things that I would like to see and Brad would like to see, and we probably only have a time for 6.
Probably something like that.
So yeah, I mean, if we can do some collabs where we don't have to film, but we get content because other people are filming and we just push that shit to our channel, more power to us.
That sounds like a solid plan.
It does.
Yeah, and perhaps maybe sometime in the summer, Graham, we can arrange something for a Cask Strength
there is a Cask Strength meetup in June in New Zealand. Brad just
oh yeah,
sure. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a thing that
Brad's
offhandedly joked about. That is probably going to happen now. Damn it.
Brad is challenging himself to travel somewhere at least every month.
That's the opposite of what I was saying. I surprised myself by looking at my calendar the other day and realizing that I had a trip planned literally every month from now until August, except for June.
Oh, yeah. That's a good thing. Okay. It's all for a good cause.
It is. It's good. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it was a surprise to me, given that I used to be a hermit, and I definitely can't say that anymore.
You're going to have to hand in the hermit card.
I really will.
Yeah.
Unless I go all these places and just stay alone in the hotel.
Yeah, you can still maintain.
I am here. I am in such and such a city.
Wouldn't that just be brilliant? You just go in the taxi to somewhere, never leave the taxi. Right.
Brad
is currently here.
Signed in, checked in at so-and-so's event. Yeah. Go back to the Airbnb.
You have drive-through bottle shops, don't you?
What?
What?
Some places in the U.S. I don't know if Texas does.
We had a drive-through beer store. Two experimental drive-through beer stores open up in Ontario. Okay, Jeremy. Let me tell you something. Everybody thinks, and you do. I know Australians can put away some lager. I've seen it personally. I know it, but Ontario is like, you literally have the ultimate mix of like super hipster craft beer drinkers and hardcore rednecks that are drinking 50 beers an hour. We had 2 experimental drive-through beer stores open. If anybody else can chime in here from Ontario, and both of them had complete over. One of them was up north somewhere, and the lineup was obstructing the entire town's traffic. And it's not saving you any time. People just wanted to do it. They wanted to drive through and get beer on a drive-through.
Apparently, they do have drive-through beer in Texas.
Beer.
I don't know about liquor, but definitely Florida used to have drive-through liquor stores. I don't know if they still do. That was years ago.
So here, it is common, right, that most bottle-os, to use the correct term, I don't know why everyone calls it
sure
bottle-os.
I mean, it's the package store here, but I usually say
bottle-os,
liquor because people don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. We'll have a drive-through section, and that drive-through section, you'll be able to get any of your beers, any of your premixed spirits, pretty much most of the wine selection, and a decent hearty thing of spirits. Like, if I go down to Dan's, I can literally, never stepping out of my car, pull up, honk the horn, and go, can I grab 2 bottles of Ardbeg 10? Give him my credit card, drive off with 2 bottles of Ardbeg 10. Civilized. Nice. It's hot outside. You want to stay in the air conditioning.
It's true. Of course, also in a lot of states, you can use things like Drizzly, which will just bring the booze to you directly.
I wouldn't trust someone.
It's like Uber Eats for liquor.
London has it fantastic because you get the off licenses and shit, and the fact that you could literally walk into a Sainsbury's and buy a 6-pack and a ham sandwich at 2 a.m. Not that I've done that.
Nice.
It's brilliant. Yeah. So in my particular state, we can't buy alcohol in your food supermarket things. It has to be a separate entity, not attached to the thing. It's just
fair enough, Matt.
So the reason we have drive-through bottle shops in most places is a little bit of a cultural thing. But on your way home from work, drive into the bottle shop, grab a carton of beer, and then drive to Mickey D's or Killer Fucking Chicken, straight in. Never have to get out of your car. It's great.
Sure.
Home, feed the family with some Dirty Bird chicken and get smashed.
Fair.
Richie Z definitely wants to have a dram with Brad and Vito, but me and Jeremy are assholes, apparently.
Oh, I mean, I am an asshole.
Fair enough. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm not, but realistically, I'm probably an asshole. And clearly, if Richie Z doesn't want to have a dram with us,
isn't your email just dan@caskstrengthshow.com?
That's right.
Whereas mine is literally
factual. Strangely factual.
That's all right. If Richie Z wants to have a drink with the tall one and the short one, that's fine. Although we could
me and Ed can go and have a drink with him. It's fine.
I was just thinking we could just send Ed with a long wig, and it's just a Brad Vito mashup.
He would do it too.
Oh man, I just read Dave's comment about his buddy shaking the can. That's that serves you right. That's a fail safe. Like if you know that if they're gonna crack it open when they're driving, well, guess what?
Yeah.
It's
thank you, Matt. It is the best. No one really uses it though. That's the only downside. I have thrown it out on the tribe numbers of times. I've thrown it here numbers of times. London, Ontario. Yeah, that would make more sense. But London, UK is pretty good, I guess, for the moment. I don't know in a post-EU world.
Right. I mean, it's still there.
London is still there. I can actually personally confirm this.
You sure?
I'm only assuming. I don't know.
The football hooligans could have taken over, man. It could be just riots and football in the street.
That's how I can personally confirm it. I've had word from the casuals.
There you go.
Sure.
All of the Canucks one day. Way to make it feel.
We can do that. We can make that happen.
Still no Jeremy. You're still an asshole, Jeremy.
Whatever. Screw that Australian guy anyway.
Oh God, what a great time! This is
Travel all that way there to see Richie, and he won't even have a drink with me. You know, I see how it is.
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is the most intoxicated I've been on a live stream so far.
Nice.
Good.
So.
You're learning the ways, young Padawan, says the man.
Well, we'll get you trained up soon enough.
Yep.
Next it'll be 16-hour hangouts.
I was going to say we'll have to get you on the old double sunrise hangout.
I put my one in, so at least I'm.
From what I understand, the Kiwi, he will be coming, except he's not really a Kiwi. I'm not supposed to say that, but he was born
Fake
here.
Kiwi.
He's a fake Kiwi. But yeah, the Kiwi should be there in September, by all accounts. He may join for some of the road trip. We don't know yet. I'm sure that we would definitely strap someone to the roof of the car to make room for Jesse.
Sure.
Sorry, Dan. I think the rule is if you are able to remove someone from the car, you can take their seat.
Seems right.
I will abide by that. Vito is going to be really hard up for a spot.
Oh, he's going for the front, man. He's going straight.
Yeah, Vito will be sitting in the front. They just bungee cord him in.
I'm really actually excited to check out. Jesse just put out a video about absinthe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys have any interest in absinthe or you don't know what it is and maybe you want to know more, definitely check out Still It, because there is an absinthe episode that was out today.
And remember, guys, absinthe makes the heart grow fonder.
It does. It does.
It makes you fonder about a lot of things. That's
yeah. Yeah. I thought it was not hype, but whatever. Like, I thought it was a big kind of gimmick. Like, how different can it be from just getting sloshed off of something that's so high in alcohol and whatnot? And my girlfriend at the time had a bottle from the Czech Republic. It was hardcore, real deal stuff with wormwood and that. And we were up at a cottage up north in the super, super far north, like Bear Country, all that jazz. And we enjoyed a ton of absinthe. We did it in the traditional method with the spoon and sugar. We just drank it straight. We just went to town, and I can safely say that there is something different about absinthe that isn't just getting drunk.
Correct. Steve A also gets it. Yeah, Matt, Vito's not going in the trunk. He's going in the front where the whiskey won't, because we need to put something in the front so that if we're in an accident, it's crumple point, Vito, more crumple point, airbag, us, and the whiskey should be safe.
You got to balance out the weight somehow. We're going to have a lot of whiskey in the trunk, so we need something up front to balance things out. Yeah.
Matt, it's gnarly stuff. This was it was from a distillery. It wasn't like a homemade bottle, but I did one time have some gnarly homemade stuff in just a clear ghetto bottle from this old Czech.
Bathtub absinthe. That's got to be sketchy.
Vito will need to wrap around the engine for warmth.
That's not going to work out very well for him in this case.
He's going to not get the wheel well.
Well, I don't know if that's going to work.
He could just travel in the wheel well of the car strength private aircraft.
It'll be September. He won't freeze. It's fine.
Notice there's no aircraft.
Dwyer just goes, September. Speak for yourself. Vito, September is Vito well in freezing Vito territory.
We'll give him a blanket. It's fine.
No, we won't. We'll give him some absinthe. He can just keep on that way.
Sure.
When was
freeze? Just it's all good, buddy.
When was last year's gathering? October.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be September this year, obviously.
But still, October in Texas, and Vito's still taking Zerp's shirt.
I think that's just a really weird thing, and he just doesn't know how to express his feelings.
So he just asked to wear a hoodie.
It's like, can I have your shirt? And he gives him the hoodie, and he just goes off disappointed, like, well, I wanted a shirt. Like,
you know what gets me about Vito? I'm gonna say something about Vito right now, Vito.
And the stream ends.
And he's not even gonna watch this, so he won't see it. But
wow,
he refused. You totally should have done it, and then came back at the end, and I would have been like, and that's how I feel about that. But yeah, he doesn't start his car and warm it up, which blows my mind. And he's like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'll be fine. I'm like, really? It's freezing cold out here. It's like -20. He's like, no, I won't start the car up.
Crazy.
I don't know.
He knows his wee body, Hayes. Come on. He knows.
That is a thing that he says.
How often does something start with him saying, I know my body?
I know my body.
It goes south. So
I believe that would be 100% of the time. That happens.
I know my body.
It's fine.
And for those who need that confirmed, just watch our 1-year anniversary stream.
Yeah.
The Italian
delicious.
Oh, the Balcones rye is tasty, which easy. Gotta get on that.
I am super jealous of anybody that has ready access to Balcones and Iron Root.
So Matt does. Matt, just hit me up after the stream. I will give you the cask strength PO box that just happens to be my address, and I'll on it.
For some reason, cask strength has an address in Australia.
Hey, that's just—it's the way. It's just logistically, it worked out better that way.
For tax purposes, whatever. Don't ask questions.
It's the upside down.
I was expecting the 8-year to have that super peaty punch after having the 16 and the 12, but it's actually quite subtle and nice. And
well, that's something that age does to peat. And I personally, so this is something that I had thought about before, right? When we'd spoken to Robert and stuff like that. When you're, I hate the word, when you're finishing whiskey, right? So when you're finishing whiskey in a barrel, so you're going from new make to finished product. Obviously, time is the thing that will mute peat. Cycles is what strengthens the wood, the tannic flavor. So how often the whiskey will move in and out of the wood. Obviously, the warmer it is, the quicker that reaction will happen. But time is what mutes peat. So could you theoretically do something in Texas where you're getting that faster cycling, so you're getting that finishing quicker, but then you're still getting that intense peat? And it's Andalusia that's doing the smoky stuff, isn't it? Yeah. So Andalusia's done a whole run of peated stuff.
I hear what you're saying. So is that Texas heat going to do the same thing? Is it going to take out from the whiskey the same that it puts in at the same speed?
Correct.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. Because then you can have that profile of the heavy peated stuff, but settled out through time, and still, that's an interesting.
Because like, if you hypothetically, right, you got a massive tote from Ardbeg, so you got a full tote of new make, you threw it in Iron Root's warehouse, and you used an ex-sherry Mizunara oak barrel, and you waited 3.5 years, what the hell is going to be at the end, and how tasty would it be? Like, would you be getting the benefits of everything? Does Mizunara, is that still going to have that magical influence that you get when you forget about it for 50 years?
I don't know, but I bet Robert and Jonathan, or if they're watching us right now, they're emailing Ardbeg immediately to see if there's any way they can get a toad out of there.
But like
That'd be nice.
That would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Like,
absolutely.
Yes, big time. And
hey,
I think that is an interesting, and it might it might not. Imagine it could enhance the peat. I guess we don't know. It's never really been done, but it would be interesting if it did speed up that entire process, both the give and take.
Yep. So could you imagine, like, say, the complexity of a Lagavulin 16, but with that peaty bite of a Lagavulin 8?
Yeah,
that'd be
a
little bit something like this mix of the 4 Lagavulins that I've heard.
I was just gonna say it's not too far off of the 12. You just described almost the 12, but even the 12 is a little more complex and rounded out than that peaty punch of the 8. So I would love to have. I think the closest thing to that in my world is Lefroy Quarter Cask. It is extremely punchy, but it does have a nice balance and round.
I think that's the key. Is like, so Quarter Cask is, you're speeding up the finishing process because you usually
right, because it's in the.
So, but the peat doesn't have the time to mute out, so you're kind of getting that best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But you're also, I think, because of the smaller barrel, you're getting a little bit more of the tannic and not as much as the wood sugar as you would if it was a bigger barrel.
Right.
But no other way that you could do it in that environment where Lefroy is based. That's the only way to do it. You can't exactly just turn on Texas heat and walk away from it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
See you, Richie Z. Have fun moderating. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whiskey in the 6. They're starting. That's another small channel we should support, isn't it?
Yeah. If you guys are local, check out Rob at Whiskey in the 6. He's a lot more down to. You'll learn a lot more about the whiskeys he's drinking than you will from us for the most part.
He's not nearly as professional, though.
Yeah. And Richie Z, cheers, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate the support.
Yeah, man.
And we have been going for more than an hour, so it probably is a good time to call it anyway.
Yeah.
So should we start? Should we finish this how we started it, Brad?
Yeah, sure. We might have.
Okay. So that's how we do things over here. Unexpected and surprising. So thanks everybody for coming out. We really appreciate the support. It's a great time. We have a blast. Cheers. See you next week. Same cast strength time, same cast strength channel. Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.
Cheers, everybody.